Welcome to another episode of ArtCo Drone Solutions Saturday Night Live 110. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about FPV goggles. I just got mine. I got the Viper goggles. But before we go into that, I am going to do On This Day in History. And hopefully everybody can hear me today. So let's get going. All right. In 1043, Edward the Confessor is crowned King of England. In 1077, the first Parliament of Friuli is created. 1312, the Second Council of Vienna, the Knights Templar suppressed. 1367, the Battle of Navarrete, La Roja, Castile alliance of King Peter of Castile and the English defeats Count Henry of Castile. 1559, Spain and France signed the Second Treaty of La Château-Cambréis. And 1582, Francis of Valois, Duke of Anjou, honored as Duke of Gelre, Earl of Uzupien, or Fien, yeah. And 1645, English Long Parliament passes a self-denying ordinance limiting regional armies. Significant step towards new model army. Alrighty, let's go to film and TV. 1930, the Second Academy Awards, Broadway Melody, Warner Baxter and Mary Pickford win. First time Academy Awards are broadcast on radio. 1949, KQWAM in San Francisco changes its call letters to KCBS. 1949, WLWS, now WCMH, TV Channel 4 in Columbus, Ohio, NBC, begins broadcasting. 1953, American Magazine TV Guide publishes first issue, features the cover of the newborn baby of actors Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball of their new baby Desi Jr. 1967, WNYE TV Channel 25 in Brooklyn, New York, PBS begins broadcasting. 1978, the 50th Academy Awards. Annie Hall wins with Richard Dreyfuss and Diane Keaton win. 1978, Larry King moves his radio show from Miami to Washington, D.C. 2005, WrestleMania 21, Staples Center, Los Angeles, California. Batista defeats Triple H. John Cena beats John Bradshaw Lightfield. And we're off to music. "1954, Me and Juliet" closes at the Majestic Theater in New York City after 358 performances. 1958, Say Darling opens at NNTA Theater in New York City for 332 performances. 1960, Elvis Presley records It's Now or Never, Fever, Are You Lonesome Tonight at RCA Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. 1961, The Happiest Girl in the World opens at the Martin Beck, New York City for 97 performances. 1964, Beatles hold the top 6 spots in Sydney, Australia charts. And Chuck looks interested, so that's good. 1971, the 16th Eurovision Song Contest Severin for Monaco wins singing Uno Bank un Hombre un Rue in Dublin. Pardon my French. 1976, the 21st Eurovision Song Contest, Brotherhood of Men for United Kingdom wins singing Save Your Kisses for Me in The Hague. Well, all right, and that is it in music. Let's go to sports, shall we? 1908, Frank Gotch wins the World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship in 2 hours. Wow. 1923, 2 Black Sox sued the White Sox unsuccessfully for bad salary. 1930, Stanley Cup Final. Montreal Forum in the Montreal, Quebec. Montreal Canadiens beat the Boston Bruins 4-3 for a 2-0 series sweep for their 3rd championship. 1935, Yasuo Kanada runs world record marathon, 2 hours, 26 minutes, and 44 seconds. 1955, Baltimore Orioles pull their first triple play, 3-6-2 against the Kansas City Athletics. 1962, American jockey Eddie Acaro retires after 31 years, which is 24,092 races. 1966, Tom Seaver signs with the Mets for a reported $50,000 bonus. 1971, the 125th Grand National, John Cook aboard 28-1 chance specify wins a close finish between leading 5 in the final furlong, whatever that means. That is on this day, so let's get back to regular broadcasting, shall we? Alrighty. And so everybody is, let's say hello to everybody in the chat. I want to say hello to Michael McReynolds, Chris Wedgeworth, Bill Coast Coast Drones, Jody Drone Shots. All right. And then we have Michael Blade. Welcome, old guy in the drone. Mitch, hello. Akira Show. Welcome. Alrighty, let's get this show started. Let's bring in Chuck. And all the way from Tennessee, Ken Heron. Welcome.
Holy.
Hey, I'm in Alabama with all the FPV dudes. Hey, we're live streaming.
All right, cool.
Hey, we're at a bando.
Awesome.
We're at the Roundhouse.
Nice.
We're doing fraud stuff. Look at all the stuff. Look at all the stuff, man.
Awesome.
And then
Howdy. Hey.
And then all the stuff, more stuff. And then Chris. What's up, Art? Hey, man.
Hey. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Howdy.
What up?
Gentlemen.
Hey.
And now a word from our
Got the wrong goggles. Wrong goggles.
It's Dave, Fly High FPV.
And what can you get
hey,
at
Dave.
Fly High FPV.
Was it .com?
3D prints.
Yeah.
You can get TBS gear,
Uh-huh.
Crossfire,
Right.
Ethics,
Right.
China Hobby Line,
Look at that.
Fox Ear cameras. We got
But wait, that's not all.
the new T-Rex camera, the highest resolution analog camera you can buy.
Oh, awesome.
All at flyhigh.com. Flyhigh FPV.
Feel free to send me an invoice.
Operator standing by.
He's pretty
That's
fast
right.
with that phone, isn't he, Art? He's quick with the phone.
Hey, man. How many people are watching?
Hey, we're doing great. We've got how
Like
many
at least
people?
6.
We've got
I'm kidding.
16.
18.
All right.
Actually,
And where are you located today, Art? What's in your
I
background?
am here in Westminster, Colorado.
Oh, all right. Well, No, your background, your cheesy background. Where
Oh,
is that?
that is the Westminster Castle, which is about a mile away from my house.
Okay. You can't see them flying, but I'm gonna show you something, and then I'm gonna hang up real quick.
Okay.
Because it's the golden hour here. This is
Awesome.
the round. Remember?
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That looks fun.
This is where they used to bring steam locomotives in here. These walls were open, and there was a switcher back there. A turntable.
Really?
Right.
Is it still there?
Mhm.
Yeah. No, it's not there anymore. But these walls were all open, and they bring steam locomotives in here to work on them. There's 24 berths, and they're actually somebody's shooting a video here today.
Awesome.
And this is the child. I don't know her name, but we're flying all in this place. So cool,
I see that now. I see the curve. I see the arch there. So it's a round structure. Hence the turn.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
And if you look at it from the air, it looks like the letter C,
Like Chuck.
like Chuck. Yeah.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
like Ben for a change. For once, my initials is more important. It's very
Right.
rare.
So anyway, thanks for having me on. I'll talk to you guys later. Enjoy the
All
stream
right.
there. Art,
Take care. Thanks for coming in, Ken.
you bet. Bill, and bye.
Bye.
I can.
Woohoo.
Did he even say hello to me? I don't think so. Someday, he's going to regret that. Because I'm going to be a
Alrighty.
superstar.
Superstar.
Then
And,
it's to me to be on
Mitch,
my
if you
live
want,
stream.
you could pop in and be part of this cavalcade of stars and
Superstar.
superstar. All right. Well, anyway, I just recently got this. This is my Viper goggles that I got,
Nice
and I just made a video where I attached an Emax Easy Fly drone to a RC car, and that's how I was able to drive it around RC.
I saw that.
So
You were
it was the first time I used these goggles, and boy, I was blown away by them.
I could tell, Art, you were really excited when you were driving around. Like, oh my God, you sounded like me when I put these on for the first time. You sounded just like me, like, oh my God, it's so cool. Yep.
Yeah.
I know the feeling, brother.
And this is
So that's pretty good setup.
nice little setup here, and the neat thing about it is, let's see if I can. So here's one of the antennas. These didn't come with this. These were off of my other drone goggles. Now, this goggle actually has a DVR in it. And as soon as I could pull this out, I will put that down, and it comes with a detachable screen where all the fun happens. And it's kind of like one of those VR goggles where you put your phone in, only instead you got this to put in, and you put the antennas on top of here, and then you just put this inside the goggles, and this little
The
this
doodad.
turns it on.
Doodad. Yeah.
This turns it on. It's also got a way you could change the channel. You
Oh,
could,
it's like a joystick. Does it?
yeah, it's kind of
more
like
than
a
one-
joystick.
like a 5D button, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
Cool.
And the neat thing about it, it's got an automatic search. You just push down for 2 seconds, and let's go, and it finds the channel. Okay, so, and let's welcome all the way from Melbourne, Florida, when he gets his hand off the lens, let's welcome Mitch, old guy in the drone.
Mitch, good to see you.
Hey, Chuck, Art, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can-
I'm cell phoning it again.
Pretty good camera on that cell phone, mister.
Really? Yeah, it's one of those OnePlus 8 Pros.
Is that the front facing or the rear facing
No,
camera?
this is the front facing camera.
Really? It's pretty crisp. Yeah.
Yeah, well, nothing but the best here. I think this is better than the camera I have in my studio, actually.
I don't know. What do you use in the studio?
One of those Logitech 920s.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
using.
I'm using a Brio, which is not much different than the 920, really.
No, I leave the Brios are for the professionals.
I don't think this. No, I think like a Sony A6600 might be more suitable.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just.
I know
joking.
you're messing with me. You know what? I was playing with it. I was trying to use it to record earlier in 4K, and it does some really weird artifacty stuff when you move fast. You get like these weird artifacty things. So I don't know if it's my computer, which I thought was pretty snappy, but
cool.
Hard to say. It's hard to say when you do anything in try to do anything in 4K, especially when you're on a live stream that's compressed back down to 720.
Yeah. Well, I meant earlier today, not on the stream. Cause right, I'm 720p, I think, right now. I throttled it back. Look at you sparking up.
My evening cigar.
Yeah.
Where's the whiskey?
I'm not a drinker.
Oh,
Nah.
I thought those two went hand in hand.
Well, a cigar goes good with an after dinner drink like brandy.
Oh, okay, brandy,
or a port wine is good with a cigar, but
You mean like a single malt or something?
yeah, I've just never been a drinker. So I stick to the cigar. It's my one bad habit.
Well, I only have water, but beer is my friend.
There you go.
This is a brewery in the Carolinas, by the way, Aviator.
Continue. I can't read the chat, by the way, on the cell phone. So anybody says hi, hello back.
Not much chat going on at the moment. What's up, people? I see.
Listen, Ken Heron left. It's all over. I mean,
It's just beginning.
tell you what else-
The hell with him.
what else can we say? I thought maybe we'd get a shot at watching a little bit of flying going on before he disappeared. But Ken, if you're still watching, how you doing? Have a great time. I envy you flying because I'm not right now.
Maybe he'll come in after Golden Hour. He said Golden Hour was happening.
Yeah.
That's ideal.
The weather down here in Florida the past couple of days, that big front that caused all those storms all across the country here this last week, came across Florida and dropped our temperature about like 15, 20 degrees. And been very windy. This morning I got up, I looked to see if I could go fly, and the wind was like 25 gusting to 35. So that was not
kind of like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Maybe tomorrow morning. They're forecasting like 8 miles an hour. Maybe earlier in the morning I'll get out and do a little flying.
You should see what Mike B, the drone ranger.
Yeah,
Let's talk about Mitch since he can't
see it.
Mitch,
what?
Right there. Let's talk about Mitch since he can't see it.
Yeah. Hey, there's nothing you can say about me that hasn't been said already. So,
Mitch, I can't quite see out the window. If it's still windy out, we should be able to see those leaves blowing around out
no,
back.
it actually kind of calmed down right now. But I'm looking up higher, and they're blowing a little bit. I mean, but it's starting to get dark now. So
yeah, things usually calm down like till tomorrow morning.
Plus, by the time I packed up the car and got out to the park there, it'd be dark. So we'll save it.
I popped the drone up in my mother-in-law's old house this afternoon, and I go to pull out the Mavic 2 Pro, and I'm like, I was doing some really late night filming, and guess what? No filters. So now it's bright, and fail.
Really?
Well, I put it in auto, so you know what happens every time you pan the camera, you know, and the light changes, it gets all, you have to put it, it gets all wonky. It's all garbage footage, but it's too bad. It was a really nice day, and I just, you know, the filters are on the dining room table, which doesn't help you. Oops.
So Art, so you were in the middle. I didn't mean to interrupt you telling us about your new goggles.
Yeah, I got the same kind of goggles that Carlos has, and I was showing all the features. It's got an HDMI port on the side, on that side, and on this side it has a couple audio ports on, and it's got a slot for your SD card, and down here is where your power plugs in, and of course the antennas on top. So
I got a pair of those, Art. That was my first pair of FPV goggles.
Cool.
And I used those until I got the DJI ones, and I still keep them as a backup. In fact, Carlos uses those goggles, and when Carlos came down for the fly-in here in Florida, he only brought his screen, so he didn't have to carry the whole thing. He just brought his screen portion, and I let him use the rest of the goggles he was wearing were my goggles.
Oh, that's cool, because it does look like there's a bit of gear that has to go along with them.
Yeah, they're fairly. I joke with him. I tell him that when he's wearing those, it looks like he's wearing a refrigerator on his head.
I know he said the original DJI goggles, I say, look like a cereal box for the same reason.
I still got a pair of those white goggles. I can't remember maybe a year ago I actually pulled them out.
Can you yeah, but can you use them can you plug, they have HDMI in, don't they? Can you bring in an HDMI signal from something else?
You probably could, but the latency probably would be too much for FPV.
Oh no, I meant for other uses. If you weren't going to use
you can, but you know, I mean, if I'm at home and I got a big screen TV in front of me, I don't want to have to squint in a pair of goggles to watch a movie, so I just don't use them.
All right, 10-4
for anything. One of the occasionally I figure I'm going to hold on to them. There's no market for those old white goggles, I don't think, anymore. So I'll hang on to it when I take a Mavic up or something if I feel like putting the goggles on. It's just after you fly FPV and get used to that, it's kind of a letdown.
They are let down, but I think it's more the Mavic camera. We were talking about this before. The camera on the Mavics isn't as wide angle, so the goggles are also not that wide angle. These things are super wide angle. Yeah.
Plus you can't roll over on your back, do a split S, and fly between trees.
No.
With a Mavic too.
No, you're not gonna. It is nice though to be able to see better when you're further away visual line of sight. You're still close because you're right with the camera. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize how cool that was till I got the FPV drone a few weeks ago.
So Art, on your video where you strap your drone to the RC car, and I'm going to say this in the most loving and respectful way. Why didn't you just fly the drone?
Because he wanted to be on four wheels.
I was waiting for him to try to actually pick off with the drone and lift the car up. Now that would have been a video, man. You would have got 1 million views on that video.
Now that doesn't mean he won't do that next time with a larger FPV drone. I almost think
there we go.
Yeah,
I could do that with the 5-inch.
A 7-inch might do it. I might pick that sucker right up.
Maybe.
I know the DJI drone, man. That thing's got some soup.
Nah, what is that? That little car's got to weigh 1 pound or 2.
Yeah, probably.
I think somebody has to try it and see.
But I kept waiting. I kept waiting for it. I kept rooting for him. Come on, Art.
That was a great idea.
And then, of course, when you flipped upside down, my first thought was turtle mode. And then some of the guys in the chat wrote turtle mode in there.
I missed it. I missed the premiere, and I'm sorry I missed it. I had to roll. I apologize to Art in the stream or in the chat ahead of time. I felt bad. I wanted to watch it, so I watched it.
Well, there was one time it rolled over and it landed back on its wheels.
When the drone's not on top of that, Art, could it actually kind of do its own kind of 4-wheel ground turtle mode, kind of flip back over? Oops,
well, the thing about it, without that drone on it, if it flips over, you could still drive it around.
Because the wheels, there's the chassis in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll drive around upside down. Well, get yourself. They sell these little FPV cameras, Art, that have they're like 20-something bucks on Amazon, and they have a little camera, the little transmitter, and antenna all built into one tiny little package, and you can mount them on anything. Mm-hmm. And they'll run off of a little tiny whoop battery. Mm-hmm. You know, a little 1S tiny whoop battery. So you get one of those things, and you can stick it on that thing and FPV it all day long.
Ooh, you could have camera 1 and camera 2, so you could have one on top and then one on the opposite end, like on the bottom, like this. And then whichever way it flipped over, you'd still have a camera. You'd have a ground camera and then an air camera, and then flip it around.
Oh, there you go.
That could be cool.
Or we could just fly the drone.
Or
there you go.
Yeah, but you don't need that pesky 107.
What a concept! There's no 107 involved in a sub 250 gram drone, so you're in business there. Plus you got the 107, so you're covered.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I want to see them take that thing through some puddles and stuff. And
I wonder if the FAA is keeping an eye on you, Art. If you have your own special agent signed.
He has enough distractions. There's we got guys in Philadelphia distracting Art's guy.
Whatever happened? I never heard any more about that deal with Mike up there. Is he still fighting that, or did they close it out, or anybody?
I don't know. Got quiet. I haven't heard anything. I was kind of wondering too. He's been, I don't know. Maybe he's got the frickin' the wildlife people after him now. Who knows? PETA or whatever.
PETA?
Chasing geese around. Probably got
somebody. Oh God.
He's got somebody. He just. That boy knows how to find trouble. I'll give him credit. I thought I was good at it. He's got me beat.
Listen, drama gets views.
Yeah, that's for sure. And police calls.
Yeah, but it gets views. So controversy drums up business on YouTube.
I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, watching us gets boring, I imagine.
You just have to drink heavily when you watch us. It'd be fine. Yeah. So, what else is happening, dudes?
I'm impressed with these goggles. You know,
they're great goggles. I don't know if you ever noticed sometime on my streams, I actually bought another version of that they sell as a ground station. It's the same exact panel that goes in the goggles, but it comes with a little thing you slip it into that's got a sunshade on it and a tripod mount on the bottom.
Right.
And I take that if I'm flying analog a lot of times or flying indoors. I'll take that with me. I had it there in Florida when you were all around, and I set it up.
Right.
And it's the same panel. It's exactly the same panel. It has the SD card. You can record it, but it allows all the spectators or anybody hanging around to stand and watch your flight.
Right.
I think they charge $100 for it.
Mm.
But it also makes for a spare panel for your goggles, and that's why I bought it in the first place, because those were my goggles, and I figured, well, it'd be nice to have this ground station, but in case something were to happen to the actual screen in my goggles, I can just snap this other panel in there. It's exactly the same thing.
There you go.
Cool.
And then the little button on top that starts and stops the DVR, the little play button on top of that thing. Well, the one on my goggles actually stopped working. First, for a while, you had to press it harder and harder and harder, and then finally it wouldn't do anything. So I called, I wrote the company, emailed the company for a warranty thing, and they went ahead and sent me a new panel, but didn't ask for the old panel. They didn't want the old panel back.
Yeah.
So now I got 3 of them, 3 panels.
Nice.
And one of
Fix
them,
it?
no, one of them. The only it still works. The only thing is you can't record on it or play back. But for viewing the feed or the live feed, it still works perfect. So
you could have them both. You could share another. You could have like somebody else watching, I guess, with that.
I could have stereo. I could have 2 of them up there.
Oh,
nice.
there you go.
Nice stereo vision. Oh, are those lenses sensitive? Like I've heard the DJI goggles. If you don't cover up the lenses, the sun can like burn them in.
Yeah, you can burn any goggles.
Any goggle. I was curious. Okay.
What happens is if you imagine you remember like a magnifying glass.
I was thinking like killing ants with a magnifying glass.
Exactly.
It's the same
well,
thing.
what'll happen is if you leave your goggles facing the sun, you'll actually burn the display.
Okay.
You'll burn something into the display. So you got to be careful with any goggles that you have.
Right.
That you don't leave them laying with the lenses inside facing up to us. It's also a good idea for your cameras on your quads. I've got one. I actually had that happen to me. I have one little nano sized camera that I had on a flying wing, and it's got a little shadow thing burned into the sensor now.
Oh yeah, cook the pixels or whatever.
Pointing at the sun for a while, so you got to be careful of all that stuff.
I see.
Okay, I was curious. I thought that might be a common problem, but I wasn't sure. I'm glad I asked. And then you're a good point on the other photography gear too and camera gear. Because
and I don't know if you when we were down here at the fly-in, Ken Dono gave me. He had 3D printed a whole bunch of them. He gave me a little thing an insert that you can stick into the goggles to cover the lenses when you're not using it. And in that insert, there's 4 little clips where you can actually clip the antennas in as well.
Genius. Really nice.
Cool.
So
you can take these. You can take these things off, right? You can take the antenna off, and
because a lot of you got to be careful when you transport those things. You can break those those antennas can break real easily. And
I was wondering about the base on these, like when they're threaded in, they feel a little dicey when you thread them in tight.
The connectors that they hook to are not real tight.
It doesn't feel like it. It bothers me. They can spin them around. They're going to snap them off, and you're done.
You just want to put them in until they just get snug.
Finger tight.
Don't try to over tighten them.
Cork them. Yeah.
No, they've got a plastic base above where they screw in that tightens up against the plastic of the goggles.
Yeah.
And that's as tight as you want to make them, because if you keep torquing them, you're going to
go around and around and
you're
be
going
done.
to tear the wires off the connector inside, because those connectors.
That's
So
what I was thinking.
Just put them on until they just feel like they're bottoming out, but they don't need to be. They don't need to be tight.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's not like lug nuts.
Yeah, because DJI did that on purpose, because that way they could sell replacement parts for all of us that didn't know that you're not supposed to tighten them up real tight.
I just had a feeling. I didn't know I was, but I've been careful for that reason, because I know how they operate.
Right.
So I don't know about you guys. I don't know how you feel, but I feel like if I see another video with a DJI FPV drone in it, I'm going to be sick.
Nah. I want to use mine for footage, though. I don't want to do like, everybody's beating it to death as far as like their thoughts and stuff.
Not me.
You up, Art? You up next?
No, I can't afford that.
Art, if I had your money, I'd throw mine away.
Mitch is funny.
Here are the antennas that I used on instead of the antennas that came with it, and these are the ones I bought for my EMAX goggles, and these work pretty darn good.
Yeah, that's you got it. You got
like I could play
SWAT flies,
handball with.
You got a patch. You got a patch antenna, and you got a circular polarized antenna.
Yep. Mhm. Yeah.
I actually ordered up the aftermarket antennae for my goggles. See how
I
they work
use,
out.
yeah, because I hate to take those antennas off and on all the
I
time.
got the
I went
scubby
ahead
ones coming.
I got the faceplate patch from iFlight that replaces the faceplate of the goggles, and that connects to 2 of the antennas, and then the stubbies for the other 2. So
Oh,
now
okay.
I can leave all the antennas on the goggles without and put them in my case without risking breaking them off.
So just the faceplate,
The iFlight one replaces the faceplate,
which is only 2
And-
screws. It looks like just 2
Right.
screws.
2 screws, and it has the patches built inside of the faceplate. So and you can get them all colored up, or you can get a carbon fiber version, and the carbon fiber ones look real sharp on there. It makes the goggles look, and it's important, I think, that your goggles just look good. I got one of those what they call fat straps.
Yeah, this thing.
Yeah, got the fat strap for it.
This
Got
thing.
rid of that stupid thing that goes over the top of your head, which
Gives well,
Yeah.
for me it gives me a reverse mohawk. I don't think you have that problem, Mitch. You're lucky.
no, I am lucky.
Look, you're aerodynamic. But yeah, I did the same thing. I got the fat strap.
Yeah, the fat straps are cool. So
This one's cool because there's a Stay Puft Marshmallow dude on it.
Well, and that's
Stay Puft
important.
guy.
It's important in any endeavor that being a fashion statement is much more important than actually,
That's like Ricardo's Hideaway. Remember, it's better to look good than feel good, and you
Yes,
look
that's right.
marvelous.
Oh yeah, Billy
You
Crystal.
look marvelous.
Yeah.
You look marvelous.
You look marvelous. Better to look good than to feel good.
There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what you just said. We're back.
That's true. I remember, but it is important, and you can see that with all the big stars in the FPV community. They all have tremendous fashion statements when it comes to their goggles, depending on the stickers and the bands and the antennas and everything. You can't. It's like motorcycles. You can't just have a Harley.
You gotta swag it up.
Stock out of the showroom. You have to put
Swag
$30,000 worth of bolt-on crap on it.
That's a Corvette thing too.
Yeah,
Corvette guys sing.
I guess. I was like that when I was younger, but I outgrew that, having to customize virtually everything. I actually have a motorcycle that's 100% stock,
Really?
and it doesn't bother me.
Well, the one thing I like about these goggles compared to the Emax goggles is they are comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
They just fit nice and they're easier to get on. Where the other ones, boy, I had a hard because my arms don't bend very well. These I can actually get where the battery part just flops over the back and pop it on.
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
you can put the battery in your pocket, because they
Right,
give you a long enough cable for that, and that might be
right.
an easier solution. One of the things about those goggles that the guys like is that you can take off the bottom part
Right.
that
Mhm.
closes it all in and
Right.
makes them. And this is how Carlos and Ed both fly with them. They don't use those bottom pieces. And
Right.
when you only have that mirror to look in, you don't. Some people don't like it because they like the immersiveness of having, being all enclosed in the goggles.
They don't want the sunlight sneaking in.
Right, but one of
Yeah.
the advantages of not having yourself being all closed in is you can look down at your radio. You can see where you're walking if you want to walk somewhere.
Yeah.
And yet they work well enough where you can actually still see the image as clear and as bright as if you had those things on the bottom.
I can't believe the goggles don't have like a little camera on the front. It's a little picture-in-picture thing down in.
There's I think it was Sky Zone or somebody actually, or Eoshi did that.
Yeah.
Put a camera and a button on top that lets you see where you're going. But I don't know if anybody. All I heard from the reviewers was they were laughing at it.
Well, it's not necessary. It's just, but it is kind of a pain in the ass because you got to flip them. Like you have to flip them up so you can see where the hell you're going, so you don't trip over yourself. It's kind of goofy.
Especially when I wear glasses and my goggles always have to go over my glasses. So half the time flipping goggles up and down takes the glasses
with
off,
them.
too. Yeah, with them. And I have to,
Mitch? Did you change the padding in yours? Like I got this aftermarket stuff, but
I tried I went ahead and bought the $15 foam replacement padding from DJI.
Yeah, that's better than what I have.
And I tried it, and it was a little more comfortable. It did stop all of the light leaks, but it grabbed a hold of my glasses. Okay.
Oh.
And every time I moved those goggles, the glasses went with them. And I got tired of that and went back and put the original. And the original ones work better for me. What does that say? Carlos let me wear those goggles in Florida. I really like them for that reason. Yeah, Michael, they a lot of guys like them because they're open. And when I was flying with them, that's how I ended up flying. And that's something you might think of doing, Art, because that would make them even easier to put on and off, because you don't have to lift that thing down over your eyes. You just slide the goggles up and down. But you don't even need to do that. Once they're on, you can just tilt your head back and see everything.
You can see underneath.
Yeah, you can look out around them. Now, some people don't like that.
Some people don't like that. They want to be fully immersed. They don't
exactly. They don't like it because they say that what's going on around them is a distraction.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess it's what you get used to.
These aren't goggles at all. These are the Moverios, so you can actually see through the.
Oh, you got a pair of those. Those things. How do you like them?
They're great for camera drones. They're not an FPV substitute.
No, that would drive you nuts trying to fly FPV with those things.
Yeah, they're not. The field of vision's not wide enough. They're kind of like, when you wear them, it's like a heads-up display like you see in a car, but it's like a 50-inch screen like out in front of you, which is cool when you're flying a camera drone like a Mavic or a Phantom, because you can still see the Phantom through the heads-up display, so you still have visual line of sight and everything.
Yeah, so it lets you basically it lets you wear goggles and obey the law.
Yeah,
at the same time.
But it's not a clear shot of the drone, right? Because the drone starts to get far enough away, you ain't gonna see it through the image. You have to then I do like what you described. It's like then I catch myself and I watch the footage and I'm looking up, looking around, like up and down above. But no, they're pretty cool for that, and they're actually a lot of fun on a flight when you're just sitting in an airplane. You can plug in, and they'll plug into the smart controller with an HDMI interface box, or you can just use the other controller that comes with the BT300s is like a little it's a little Android device, and you can store movies on it, watch MP4s and stuff. So in-flight movies. And they're light and small in their little case. They're more portable.
Cool.
There's different options. Art has one.
There you go.
I have a couple, and the other guys have more stuff. I really like the digital, though. I don't know if I could do analog anymore.
Well, it does spoil you. It does spoil you.
I know the latest.
Got a bunch of analog drones that I don't fly very, very often. I always tend to grab the digital ones.
Right.
But there are a bunch of guys that are analog. They're hardcore with the analog stuff. They don't mind the static and stuff. They just fly the hell out of them.
Let me go turn a little light on here.
There you go.
I see that.
Well, maybe down the road I might graduate to
digital
fat charts.
Yeah, man.
You wear glasses, don't you? Or not?
No, I don't wear glasses.
You don't wear glasses? No contacts or anything like that?
Nope.
I do contacts myself.
Yeah. No kidding, Chuck.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I can't wear. I've got. Unfortunately, I have what they call prism correction.
Right.
Not prism with an M. There are people who think prison correction would be good for me, but I don't agree.
But prisms are for
one eye sees a little higher than the other.
Okay. Yep.
If I put on a regular pair of goggles, not to mention the normal correction that I have, the diopter, for just vision, I need that too. But if I put on like store-bought reading glasses, like you buy at the drugstore, and look through a pair of goggles and have the right correction to make them sharp, I will see two images. I will see two pictures, one right on top of the other. And then over time, the brain will actually merge those two images, but it causes a hell of a lot of eye strain in the process doing that.
I see.
So I discovered that. I wore glasses for years before I even discovered that I had that problem, and I discovered it flying model RC jets. And I was flying an RC jet up in Illinois at a jet meet where we flew way into dusk, where it started to really the sun went down and it was really dark, getting dark, and we were still flying these things. And as the darker it got, all of a sudden I found myself flying two airplanes, one airplane directly above the other airplane. And I'm saying to myself, what the hell is this? I'm seeing double.
Fatigue.
So I picked an airplane. I picked one of the two and flew it and landed it. And then I took my glasses and I went like this. I tilted them like this. I was looking at the horizon and I was seeing one over the other. And as I tilted them, the horizon came together.
Wild.
And I said, well, and if I move my glasses like this, I'll see the two images do this. And so I went to the eye doctor and I said, what the hell is this about? And the guy says, this is my doctor that I've been going through for years. He said, well, you need prism correction. I said, and you haven't tested me for that up until now? He said, well, no, we generally don't test people.
One eye at a time.
They
do
complain.
One eye at a time.
Unless they complain.
Yeah, so, well, they will notice, like, if you have a lazy eye or something and one drifts, like this.
Yeah, but that's not. This is different. This is different.
Yeah, yours is like this.
Yeah, and there's no way to fix it. It's just the way it is. So I have to wear glasses with this prism correction under any goggles that I might use. So I can't. If I went to buy a pair of Fat Sharks, you can have these inserts made specifically for a Fat Shark. But I would have to have them made with the prism prescription, and they make them over in Germany. And I have a funny feeling it would take 4 tries back and forth before we finally got it right. It'd cost them about $150. And I said, nah, I just need to find goggles that I can wear over my glasses, which is why I started with those Vipers that you have.
Oh, there you go.
I have inserts. Well, I mean, I don't know if Rochester Optical does inserts for these. Like you can see them on the backside. Those are inserts to correct
They could probably do
and they're in Rochester, New York. They're a lot closer. They're on this side of the pond.
But this place in Germany is known for getting it right and doing it. And
Bill,
and that's why I was so tickled when the DJI goggles came out and they fit over glasses. They were designed to fit over glasses. I was really happy about that because I wanted the digital, and so that solved all my problems. And I actually, used the DJI goggles for analog as well with a module. You saw that faceplate mod that I made, and I have a TBS Fusion module, and it plugs into the AV input in the DJI goggles. Gives me a great analog, beautiful analog signal, and it records it on the DVR and everything. So solved all the problems.
Bill from Coast to Coast Drones wants to know the DJI FPV drone. Is that an FPV drone, or do you consider it an FPV drone?
Well, it is an FPV drone. FPV means first person view. So basically, anytime you put on a pair of goggles and fly something, you're flying FPV. Whether it's Art, you were driving your little race car FPV.
Yep,
anytime you have a pair of goggles on and put yourself in whatever it is, you're operating it. Is it an FPV drone like the FPV drones that we fly? Yes and no. The FPV drones that we fly don't do some of the things that the DJI one does. We don't have the gimbaled camera that's gimbaled up and down. We can't adjust our camera angle in flight in acro mode. We can't hit an emergency stop button on the thing and have it come to a screeching halt in the middle of whatever it's doing. We don't have stabilized modes to actually let it sit there and hover like a Mavic, and we don't have any of that stuff. But what we do have is we have a drone that isn't going to that's going to be much more acrobatic and much more agile to fly the kind of flying that we do. And we have a drone that's not going to break into a million pieces when we hit something with it. And that's the biggest drawback right there. Is you saw
and they're both not waterproof.
These guys were in that bando with all of those concrete poles, whipping around in there, banging it, smashing into the concrete floor, banging into the concrete poles. Worst they do is maybe break an arm or a motor on one of these things or some props. But and then they take it home and they take out their tools and they replace the arm or the motor and they're flying again. With the DJI thing, you hit that thing as hard as some of these guys hit their FPV drone. It's going to be shattered into a million pieces. And you got to send it back to DJI and wait for them to fix it at a probably a ridiculous cost. So, yeah, it's got its place. It's got its place for somebody who's never flown FPV before. I think the DJI drone is a safe entry into learning what it's like to fly through goggles. Right. But I think, and this is my opinion, when you get to the point with the DJI drone where you've screwed up your courage enough to click it into manual mode, you've taken all the limits off. You've taken the bank angle and the pitch angle limits where you have a full-blown acro drone that'll roll over on its back on you. It's time to take a vacation from the DJI drone.
And go to the other dark side.
Go out and get yourself a regular, relatively unbreakable FPV drone, and then learn how to fly. And what would happen, what the guys who are the real ripping FPV pilots are saying about the DJI drone is, yeah, you can fly it like that, but it flies like a pig.
It's heavy.
It's heavy. It has a lot of oscillation in it, prop wash oscillation and things. It's just not made for ripping bandos. It's made for photography.
Right.
And in that respect, it serves its purpose beautifully.
Yeah, I think its sweet spot is going to be sport mode for most people.
Exactly, sport mode. Sport
mode's going to be. Yeah, you can fly it like an airplane, but it's like an airplane you can stop dead in its tracks. So it has that fixed wing look, but it'll stop dead in its tracks.
But not only that, but when you fly an FPV drone, you're flying even in stabilized mode. You have no altitude control. So even if it's going to stay level with the horizon, Art, you've learned this with your Tiny Hawk. Even if you don't have to worry about it tilting and rolling, you still have to work that throttle to maintain your altitude. Whereas with the DJI drone in sport mode, as long as that throttle stick is centered, you can push those other sticks around everywhere you want, and the drone is not going to crash into the ground or end up at 3,000 feet up in the air. It's just going to maintain its altitude.
Well, Mitch, they do have a little problem right now that's been reported by a few people I know firsthand. That they, when you're in sport mode and you bank it when you're yawing, you can drop a couple, maybe 2-3 meters. So if you're close to water, you're skimming the ground and you yaw hard, the drone could crash.
Well, and that's understandable. That's understandable because those maneuvers are a little more pronounced than they would be with a camera drone, and they happen faster. I mean, and that's what happens with anything flying. When you roll over, your lift is not parallel to the ground anymore. Your lift is now tilted. If you roll over 90 degrees, you have no lift straight up and down.
So you're going to fall.
All your lift, you're going. So the steeper your bank, when you fly an airplane, as you roll the airplane into a bank, you start pulling back on the up elevator to maintain your altitude. Otherwise, you'll go into a spiral. But that's called flying. That's called flying. And when you fly FPV, you learn that you have two ways to counteract that. You have pitch and throttle. And after you've been flying FPV a while, you don't think about it anymore. You just tend,
You
know
just
that
do it.
the steeper you roll over, the more pitch you're pulling back, and the more power you're giving it to maintain that altitude. And you can learn all of that with a tiny hawk.
Yeah, yeah,
You don't need that.
what you're describing about flying, Mitch, is what many of us did with a manual transmission. You just all of a sudden becomes natural, and it's but something that's not natural, like using the stick and the throttle to maintain your altitude and such, becomes natural with practice.
And one of the reasons why a lot of the FPV guys don't like this DJI drone, especially in the sport mode, is that nothing that you do to fly it resembles anything that you do to fly a regular FPV quad. It resembles what you do to fly a Mavic. In other words, if you want to go forward, you got to hold the stick forward, because the minute you let the stick go back to center, the drone stops.
Yep. Well, that's intentional. That's why many have called it a hybrid, and that's an accurate statement.
Yeah, but that's why I don't enjoy, after flying FPV for a couple of years, I don't enjoy flying anything in a stabilized mode, whether it be an airplane that has a stabilized mode or a quad, because it's totally unnatural for me to hold the stick forward to go forward and to hold the stick over to the left or right to keep the thing turning. And yet, in the RC hobby, with all these airplanes they come up with, E-Flight sells all these airplanes. They all have a stabilized mode. And it's great for beginners because they can't get too much trouble. Right. If they let go of the sticks, the thing just levels itself off. But in order to turn those things, you have to continue to hold the stick over to the left. Whereas in normal flying, FPV or airplanes, if you continue to hold the stick to the left, the roll will continue until the thing is upside down. That's how you do a roll. Yeah. So I think, and I give this advice, and I'm not the greatest FPV pilot nor the most experienced, but I am a pilot, and I've been flying all my life. And my advice to anybody that wants to learn to fly real FPV is you start out in a stabilized mode just to get used to interpreting what you see in the goggles and keeping it in the air. But the minute you can keep the thing in the air for a whole battery pack, you're ready to put it in, you're ready to switch to acro mode and start, and you'll crash all the time, but at least you'll be learning how to fly the thing, not just drive it around.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's what we want Art to start doing. Now you got the tools, Art.
Yep. Now I got them. Soon I'll be flying the Tiny Hawk around, and then when it's not very windy or very calm outside, I'll start flying it outside. Well,
inside, fly in a stabilized mode inside. It's very difficult unless you've really got a lot of practice to fly acro indoors.
Right.
Okay. But fly in a stabilized mode indoors, learn throttle control, which is easier to learn indoors than outdoors because you do have that ceiling over your head. I remember the first time I took one of those little Tiny Hawks when I first started out, I had a little M80 Yashin. I took it outside and flying it around. The next thing I knew, it was 300 feet up in the air. You know,
for a second I thought you were going to blow it up with an M80. I was getting excited.
No, I was up there in the stratosphere with the stupid thing all of a sudden because when I was used to flying indoors and I could tell how high I was because I had a ceiling over. And you will be banging into the ceiling and banging into the floor and banging into the ceiling, and that's just part of the learning curve. And you have to keep doing that until you can stop thinking about it, until you just start reacting like you do when you drive or anything else. And there is a learning curve to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, it's about that time. It's time to spin the wheel for.
All right. Well, I'm
toffee.
I'm gonna bug out right now, Art. I wanted to come in and say hi to you guys. And,
all right. Well, thank you, Mitch. Thanks for
my pleasure.
Coming in.
Good to see you, Mitch.
Good to see you, Chuck.
Guys, and
take care, man.
All right. Be good.
Take care, man. Good to see you. So, all you guys in the chat, we're going to spin the wheel for some free toffee. Let's bring up Mel 400 AGL. Pick a number between 1 and 50, and please, one number per person.
So you want me
I
to
can't believe you have
pick a
to
number?
say that now. You get to pick one
And
too, Mel.
also, sorry, it's for U.S. residents only. Until I work out a deal with the Enstrom company, maybe I'll be able to ship overseas. So we will wait for a few minutes. Mel, welcome to the show. Good to see you.
Hey,
How you doing?
doing
How's
good. Hey,
Tammy
Chuck.
doing?
Yeah, doing.
Doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I took her to the ER again the other day. So
Oh, sorry to hear
she's been
about
about
that.
24 hours in custody. I
Hospital, prison.
Yeah, she's got her share of troubles.
Mm-hmm.
Art,
Yes.
Bob pointed out something. You said for us to pick numbers between 1 and 50. You don't have 50 people in the chat,
I know. I have 30 people.
do you? So we
Yep.
need to go with numbers between 1 and 30 then. Or do you want to do the 1 and 50 and let them pick?
They'll spin twice.
Well, the closest to the final number will be the one.
Okay.
Sounds good?
It'll work.
Alrighty, let's
Have faith, Mel. It's gonna be all right, brother.
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be okay. Alrighty, let's share a screen.
But 26 is gonna
Yeah,
come
well-
up anyway, so that means it's the way it's gonna be.
So when do I get to say my number that I picked?
You can say it. Say it.
Alrighty, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
you're going to actually spin a wheel. I thought you were going off what Chuck and I were going to pick for numbers.
Mine always. I managed to get mine in pretty fast. I'm in there, up at the top of the list. But yeah, Mel.
Alrighty.
I've already
Everybody,
had the
let's
prize,
get
so
ready to rumble. Let's spin the wheel.
Drone shots. I have 26, dude. Pick again. Hey.
And the winner is 8. Who got 8?
I don't see 8.
I don't see an 8.
There is no 8.
Well, who's the
That's,
closest to 8?
Closest, we got 5. Mike Roach.
Mike Roach.
He's off by 3. He's the closest.
Okay, he's all right. Mike, you are the winner.
Thunderbird put in 8 after the fact. That's awesome.
So, Mike, email me your address and I will ship that off to you. Congratulations.
Congrats,
Mike.
Mike. The stuff is good. I'll be over to your house to raid your stash.
That is good stuff, too.
Oh, I know. I kept the empty box because I think I'm gonna have to hunt down that stuff and just ship it to my house direct from those dudes.
Well, they do have a website you can order from.
Yeah, it is
And
so
not
good.
only do they have toffee, but they got all kinds of goodies. I just bought for Easter, I got the peanut butter Easter egg.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been nibbling at it for the last couple of days right now.
Ooh, a
And
nonstop
it's so good.
sugar high.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, your pancreas must be loving you right now.
And they also had eggs that are about the size of the Cadbury eggs that
Yeah,
are
yeah.
filled with different kinds of filling. And so I got them the other day. So they only had 2 different kinds, and the caramel one sounded pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, the Cadbury caramels are my favorites.
Ah,
I somehow avoided them this year. I don't know how, because they're
hey, Lloyd, good to see you. Thanks for
They're like
jumping in.
Lay's potato chips. You never can eat just one.
Oh no, sir, man. Better keep the. Gotta
Oh.
take just a few out of the bag and set the bag away somewhere and safekeep it.
Funny you should
I have
say
to do
they've
worse
got
than that.
chocolate
I just
covered.
buy one or two singles and bring other, because if I buy a bag, I'll eat the whole damn thing, and I know it. Yeah.
Enstrom's has chocolate covered potato chips.
Oh, I've had those. They're really good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Chocolate and
something
peanut
about
butter covered
salt
potato
and
chips are pretty
chocolate.
awesome. Oh yeah. Well, that's how they get you.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
and they're
I got
they're
this
cream
notification, Art, and I went to it. And I've been sitting there doing other stuff and waiting, and it says, waiting for ArtCo Drone Solutions, and I've been sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. And then I discovered it was the wrong one. What'd you do? Put the thing on the wrong channel again or something?
You did it last week too.
Yeah.
I thought I posted a correction there. Didn't I post something in the chat to say go?
You know what? I've closed all those. Oh no, I've still got them. Let me see.
I posted this linky over there because I suspected something was odd when the countdown started and I didn't see anything.
Oh, is it
in
a
that one.
stream?
Yeah, I closed that window.
Nope,
I closed that window
It was
already.
the YouTube link, Art.
Oh,
I saw the link in there and I thought, and I saw the comment about the mistake before, so I thought, well, I wonder. So I clicked on the link that was in that chat, and it brought me to this feed. So it's like,
it's still broken. I don't think. Oh, yeah. Somebody wrote like still no art and stuff, and I put it like. Here, I'll do it one more time, but I posted it once.
yeah, but that stream is still live. The chat's still there.
Yep, it's still happening. It's the other one, Art.
well, I've got the YouTube live stream, and you guys are in there. Is there another YouTube stream?
I'll show you. I'll let me back up to it on here, and then I'll put it in our internal chat. I'll put the linky. I'll show you which one is kind of messed up. That was a good point. So if we go back here, and then I'll post it down in our private stuff. I think private chat.
Let's see.
This is the one
That's
broken. Well, it's there, but there's no. Right.
Now let me do one. Art, let me show you something. I'm going to share screens.
Let me show you something.
I think it's screen number 2. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm sharing the screen here, okay? All right. Now what I'm going to do is here's my notification bell. I'm going to scroll down here to ArtCo Drone Solutions, number 110, and I'm going to click on that to open it in a new window and look.
You're going to see.
Oh, wait a minute. What happened? Now it comes to this show.
No, I have the old one is
So I was trying to go to the old one.
Mel, go to our private chat and you'll see I have the linky from the original one where you were on there. You're like, where's the one. That's it.
Huh.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Well, there's 2 notifications.
Right.
See?
There were 2 notifications.
There's one here and there's one here.
And there's a newer one.
Mm-hmm.
And they both say show number 110, FPV goggles. They both say the same thing.
I bet I know what it is.
If you're scheduling,
yes.
You don't do that on.
Yeah, if you're running a scheduled deal, you don't want to do that.
With StreamYards, you set everything up, and then you I think you bring it over to YouTube after.
Oh, okay. All right, so I won't do it that way anymore.
I had some issues too because Keith of the K-Spot had to walk me through because I did a bonehead maneuver thing where I was doing like a live unboxing of the filters for the FPV drone, and I screwed up and it went dark. Nobody saw me unbox anything.
Oh no.
And we figured it out. It was me and this guy Henry Robotic. We figured it out about 20 minutes in. It's like, oh crap, because people are writing in the chat like, always see, like it started the show and then it froze. It's like, hey, you guys live or what? It's like froze and the chat's going on and on. Anyway.
Oh wow.
But StreamYards records everything, so I had to upload it later as a video to show it. But it was kind of a bummer that I didn't have a meltdown or anything, but it was a bummer.
I
Live
like
and learn.
what Sean Oz says. Can't join or text, but letting you know I'm listening while tattooing a client. Dang, Mel, you have a calm, slow radio voice.
It is nice, isn't it? It's soothing.
Meditation channel.
Everybody talks about my voice.
It's very soothing. You should do a late night show.
I really sound like Art, but it's this magnificent sound system that I use that makes it sound.
It's pretty good. Was that a blue microphone right there?
Yeah, it's a Blue Yeti.
Yeah.
And I'm not running any sophisticated software to make it work. I'm just running it through into my computer, you know?
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing with the Amazon Basics ripoff of that one.
But I will tell you something that I learned today flying FPV.
Do tell.
Well, I took my 5-inch out yesterday and flew it with the goggles for the first time.
That's what she said.
Nice.
I don't fold it in half for anybody, Art.
Took
my 5-inch quad out.
That'd be a 2.5.
No, folded it in half to get 5, you ding dong.
Mel the two-hander.
So I took the quad out to fly it yesterday.
Sorry. This is what happens when you have two pigs above you. See, we're above you.
Yeah. And put the goggles on and put it in the air in stabilized mode, and
Cool.
15 seconds later flipped it into acro mode and was flipping it and rolling it and everything.
Nice.
I
Awesome.
flew 2 packs through it, and I made a video which was the exact video that I had envisioned for my first flight with the drone. I started Velocidrone recording on screen, right? And I got went through the steps, got Velocidrone up and running, started flying the drone in the sim, and then did a flip and a couple of rolls and stuff. And then I did another roll and moved into my actual footage in a roll and just transitioned straight into the drone footage.
Oh, cool.
So
Cool.
that video's live on my channel right now, but I went out today because I decided that I was going to do some yaw spins. And I did pretty good with them. And then I decided I was going to do an inverted yaw spin. And it went pretty well. So I thought, well, I'm going to do another one. Except the second one I did was only about 25 feet off the ground. And I forgot to chop the throttle enough. So once I got inverted, not only is the drone want to fall down, but it's flying down. So I did a yaw spin into the ground, inverted. Didn't hurt anything, but still it was.
Let's put your channel up, Mel. I was never subscribed to
Exciting.
you, so I just subscribed to you so I can check that out in a little while.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
We throwed it on the chat.
There you go. Yeah, pretty much
I threw it on
everybody
the
here
chat.
subscribed to me anyway. But
Yeah, you have a pretty good subscribership there, sir.
working on it.
It's
But
going. Look at it go. It's going.
in fact, I've been working all day, going through all my videos for the last 60 days, double checking. And I have a list of how many times that I showed a picture or talked about giving away.
Oh, yes.
What? What are you giving
The
away?
Mavic Mini.
Oh, the original Mavic Mini.
Original Mavic Mini Fly More. Tomorrow on my channel, the winner will be announced.
Oh,
And
okay.
I've run a 60-day contest. So, Chuck, if you want to have a chance to win,
Got to get in now.
well, it's too late, really, because you could go watch all the videos, though. I would appreciate the watch time. For every time I mentioned it in a video, people had to keep track.
Uh-huh.
And then they had from midnight on April 1st to midnight tonight to email the number of times that they think I talked about giving away the Mavic Mini.
Cool.
Only on my channel, not on other people's that don't count. Only on my channel. And then instructions were to email your answer, your guess, to my upload email address. And tomorrow night on the stream live, I'm going to go through that email address, starting from the oldest email, because that'll be the one I got first. And when I go through the email list and find the first person that has the correct answer is going to be the winner.
Awesome. All right. Very cool.
Ships to them. You know, I put a video out yesterday about it, defining the finalization and all that, and you know, so yeah.
Nice. Cool. Somebody will like it. I know I was up in the Adirondacks last October, and I was flying my Mavic 2 Pro, kind of the base of Whiteface where it's not a no drone zone. I was zipping around a little bit over this pond and stuff, and this guy pulls out his Mini, his Mavic Mini. And we were talking a little bit, and then I was done flying. He pops up the Mini, and it didn't take him but, I don't know, 2 minutes to crash it.
Really?
Poor guy. Yeah, and we did wrong. We had to walk across the street, and was like caught it up in a low. It didn't break it or anything. He just smacked into a tree down low. But,
okay.
But still, I mean, it wasn't windy or anything either. I don't know what went wrong with someone.
Well, no crash avoidance, you know, for inexperienced people. And inexperienced people don't understand that with a DJI drone, all you got to do is let go of the sticks.
That's correct. He knew that, though. I mean, he sounded like we talked for like probably 5 or 10 minutes before because I was putting mine all away. I was done. He pulled in, like, you know, because I was bringing mine down. He starts to pull his pickup truck into where we were parked. I'm like, hey, you know, it's all cool. I'm all done flying. I don't want to be in anybody's way. I didn't know he had a drone then. And then, like, he's like, oh, no, I've got one right here. I'm going to fly. It's like, well, it's all yours, man. Sky's all yours, brother. Have fun.
There you go.
And he was telling me how he's a photographer, and he had just taken it to the next level with the Mini, because the Mini gave him the opportunity to get the aerial shots, and he'd won all kinds of contests with the Mini getting pictures more than video. And then I was like, oh, he knows what he's doing. And then, no. Had a little boo-boo. But it bounced. It bounced.
It's not intended to be a ball.
No, but it lived. So that means it bounced.
That's the important part.
Yeah, it lived to fly another day. And then
I might have broke the antenna connection loose on my VTX when I did my inverted landing.
Oh, but you can fix that, right?
I hope so. I got to take it apart and see if I can fix it.
Well, it's certainly more repairable than anything DJI makes.
Yeah. Well, right where the, and it's just a little bitty round plug with a coax center.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah. And right where the antenna plugs on, it's loose right there.
So you broke the solder joint or something?
I'm hoping that's all that broke.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pull the top off and pull the VTX off and look at it, and I got to flip it over to see the bottom side and stuff. But I'm hoping that I can fix it.
You can fix it. I have faith.
And I wiggled it, and it wiggles, and I don't remember it being loose like that. And I thought, that's not supposed to be loose.
Yeah, it's lifting off the board or something.
So I thought, well, maybe it'll be all right. And I started to fly again, and I got about 50 feet away, and my screen just went totally static. You know, totally lost all. Luckily, I was only about 10 feet off the ground, so I just killed the motors and
brought her down hard.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. I wasn't moving very fast either. I was still in stable mode, so it was. I was just kind of cruising with it.
You just come skating in for a landing, basically.
Basically, it was upright even when I went and picked it up, but
yeah.
So I had to do the walk of shame twice today to go get my drone.
Yeah, walk of shame sucked.
And it was cool because yesterday, like when I brought it in to land it the first time on the first pack, I forgot to take it out of sport mode or acro mode. So when I brought it in to land it, it was like, woo, you know, it kind of got goofy, but it was really close to the ground, so it wasn't a problem. And then the second time I landed yesterday, I remembered to put it back in Horizon mode? Is that what you guys call it?
Horizon or stable.
Stabilized mode,
I'm
whatever.
still learning the lingo. I'm still in it.
Yeah.
I'm a wuss. I'm an FPA or FPA,
Uh,
FPV DJI dude. So I'm not
well,
really an FPV dude at all.
so anyway, stabilized mode as far as I'm concerned, and so I brought it down and brought it in and landed it about 20 feet away or something, you know, where I felt comfortable not getting that close
Right.
to all them props spinning. Horizon, yeah. So
Mike said
Horizon
the
mode, I
UFL.
guess.
What do you call them? UFL connections. The connectors pop off easy. Noob.
Yeah, it's the
Bob.
the push in, the plug in one. It's not the
Wave my
screw on
hand.
one.
Yes, I'm a noob.
Yeah.
I am.
You can
I'm
tell
not even
the
a
old
noob
time
yet.
FPV guys because they're usually missing a finger, you know.
Nice. Well, that's one thing I think a lot of people coming over from Mavics and Phantoms to the FPV drone by DJI are learning. Props have some freaking power, and
Oh yeah.
they'll leave a mark. I mean, like the other ones did too, but these are really nasty.
Oh, these'll, especially like I fly fixed wing airplanes too. So, and I've got an FPV camera mounted on one of my airplanes back on the top of the vertical stabilizer. So when I fly it with the goggles, I'm actually looking at the wings and everything. So I can see the horizon and see the wings
Very
and all that.
cool. Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's pretty cool. There's a video on my channel about the popsicle FPV.
Right.
So, putting the goggles on and watching the horizon in the goggles, as soon as I flipped it into sport mode, I was rocking it. I was rolling it and flipping it and all kinds of stuff. It was like doing loops and rolls with an airplane. It was no different.
Cool.
It was like, man, I wish I'd have just tried sooner. I was afraid to try. You know? I wish I'd have just done it.
Well, you did it now.
Everybody told me, just do it. Put the goggles on, put it in acro mode, and go. And I was like,
You had to warm up to it. It's all right
Hey,
now.
yeah, you know. And now I wish I would have, because
Why? You're doing it now, right? You're
I
doing
was,
it.
yeah, but I'd have been doing it 6 months ago
Oh. So what? Maybe it would have crashed 6 months.
or more.
You're all
Yeah, I'd have probably
So-
had to build 4 or 5 drones by now if I'd have done it sooner, right?
See, it's all good, man. You did it when you were ready.
Mel, did you see my video with the little RC car with the FPV drone on it?
Uh-huh.
You know where I got that idea? From Ken Heron, because he had one of those RC cars where he took an FPV drone that I guess he wrecked it, and he just mounted it right on top of it, and I thought, oh, I could do that with the JJRC and put a rubber band around it, and I put that on and I tested it out in the goggles, and I go, I think this is gonna work.
Did you see his video today? Did you Ken's video today that popped up on basically making movies and all the little camera tricks, using multiple cameras, getting multiple angles.
Right.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I've done some of that stuff, but not to that extent. But it's every bit as time consuming as Ken showed it to be. But
Oh,
it's so
it is.
cool.
It is.
It's so
It
cool
is.
afterwards.
Especially
Mm-hmm.
if you plan your shots where you know you're going to be
Mhm.
walking down a trail a certain way.
Yep.
Mhm.
Walk down there, put the camera, set it all up so that when you
Yep.
walk down, you got a camera
I
there.
have done it. My wife is like, "What are the first few times I did?" My wife's like, "What are you doing?" I was like,
Why is
I
all
gotta
this? Yeah.
"Yeah." So I got to set the camera up so when we walk by and we'll look normal. We'll just do what we just did, and then we'll just hike off for real or whatever and get the shots and stuff. She's like,
And then come back and get all the cameras.
and then I'd come back and get all the gear. Yeah, and then it's funny when you play the footage back later because you see setting everything up, and then it's like, okay, I'm like, okay, come back here, Lori, let's go do this now. And then we walk by everything, right? And then you walk like a zillion, and then you come back and you got to walk back like the walk of shame kind of to get the camera and turn it off. But it's how you do it. It's like Hollywood in a way. That's how you get those
Yep.
shots. I mean, if you want to share that with somebody, like, oh, we're out hiking and this is what it looks like, and you only have
There
us
you go.
two,
Yeah.
Yep.
and the
Yep.
drone's good
If
for
you
that
wa-
stuff too.
Have you watched some of James' older videos, from My PI Dream?
Uh-huh.
He does that, where he's walking from his apartment out to the build site where they're building his house, and he does that where you see him walking towards the camera, and then there's one where he's walking away from the camera, and all right,
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Ten Toes does it a lot, he says.
yeah,
Not in the car though. I haven't done it in the car either, Ten Toes. No way, man. It's like in my favorite car to drive is my Vet, and that's a 6-speed, so it's kind of like Ken. I'd be rolling through the gears and like trying to hold the remote control. If I had my elbow on the steering wheel, and like, yeah, that's a bit much.
So we're waiting for James to show up. He's probably finishing up his
Waffles?
waffles by now.
Alexa, get his attention. Get James' attention.
Yeah, there you go. Computer.
Computer?
Yeah, what was? Yeah.
Oh, what
he's-
do you say? Oh, a keyboard. How quaint. Is that what
Yeah.
Gotti said?
Oh,
Something like-
mouse. Mouse. Oh, how quaint.
Is that what it was? I can't remember now. Geek humor. Yeah, geek humor. Yeah, live long and prosper, Mel.
Yeah.
You're gonna have Bill at Coast to Coast. He's giving you the sign back. He loves doing that.
Yeah.
He's a Trekkie. What's that behind your right shoulder? Is that a Mustang?
It is.
Yeah.
P-51?
E-Scene.
I used to have a Testers one that had the remember the ones you used to spin around you spun them around till you got dizzy and collapsed?
Yep.
Yeah, I had a Testers.
And then
one.
when
It's
you
awesome.
learned to do loops and stuff with that, you stood in one spot and just made it fly in one place, all around in figure eights and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. That's really cool looking. I have a soft spot for those. It's just a really cool looking aircraft.
And this thing, even for being so small, flies really, really well.
Well, they were known for handling back in the day, right?
Yeah, they were
yeah.
they were the Corvette of airplanes.
There's James.
Oh, the
He's
guilt of it
watching.
all. James.
Yeah, we're just waiting for you, James.
I'm probably going to have to cut out at 9 because I got to grill a steak for dinner. It's all coming up on 9
Yeah.
o'clock. It's 8:30
Well,
now.
and I've got to run over to my sister's house for dinner.
Come on, James.
Oh,
It's the time for like
Michael
maybe
loved
one and a half.
those, toffee.
Oh, yeah.
Ate them all in an hour.
Yeah. I only had one piece. I told my wife, check this stuff out. It's really good. And then I go back to get the box later. I'm like, box is a lot lighter than it was.
She agreed it was really good, huh?
But she claimed she only had one piece, but I think she had 3. But it's okay. It just kept it off of my love handles. But
had
yeah, it's delicious.
One piece, you know.
Yeah, right. Stuff
So,
is
Art.
good.
Yes.
Take the 5-inch, go out to the school football field or something like that, where you got a lot of open room.
Right.
Put the goggles on, put it in stabilized mode,
Right.
and fly it.
Yep. Sounds like a good idea. We'll do it. Yep.
And have somebody
Cool.
with you
Yeah.
that can keep their eye on where it goes down.
Yeah. And hey, could you go get that? On the school? What's it doing on the school?
Well, I already had dinner, so I'm going to jump out of here because Art's got to go and Chuck's got to go and
Not
Yeah,
yet.
I've got about a half hour.
Yeah, me too. You don't have to run off. We're good for a while. I was just
Yeah.
I see that James he's trying to find his headset. He's gonna be.
Yep.
You don't want to miss James. He's a good time.
He's a hoot.
He's a hoot. Give a hoot. Don't pollute. Or Woodsy the owl. Give a hoot. Don't pollute.
Uh-huh.
Nobody paid attention to Woodsy, clearly.
Oh, here's some trivia for you.
Ooh, trivia.
On the old Batman series on TV,
Yeah.
how many of those actors were on Star Trek, the original series?
3.
Fast answer. I have
No?
no idea.
5.
Oh, is it
5?
5? I
Mhm.
thought it was 3.
As guests, you mean?
Yep.
As guest
Yvonne
stars
Craig, Batgirl.
or regular people every week series.
Art said guests, I think. Is it guests?
Batman. One of the actors.
Adam West
There
was
were
on
5
there?
different actors that were on Batman that appeared on Batman. That had been on Star Trek, the original series. Yvonne Craig, Batgirl.
Batgirl.
Frank Gorshin, the Riddler. Roger C. Carmel, who played General Gum on Batman. No, Colonel Gum. And the two Catwomans.
Ooh, Catwoman.
Yep, one was
Ooh,
not the Eartha Kitt, but
Newmar. Julie Newmar.
Julie Newmar and hello,
Julie.
James. Welcome to the show.
Julie
We were
Newmar
talking
was
about
so
Batman
hot.
and Star Trek.
So hot.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey.
Good morning, Magadan Maga.
I don't have my fancy mic. I'm actually just got done with waffles.
He follows in my. I was all
Done
get me
with
thinking
my
about Julie
manager.
Newmar as a young boy, and then James comes in.
A young boy. Oh,
Yeah, sparkle in your eye, Chuck, went to nearly a tear, it looks like.
hey, Mel. It's good to
Fabulous.
see you, man.
Hi,
Good to see you. I have been listening, and I brought it up before, man. You just have the sexiest voice, that Wolfman Jack voice. I tell you.
You know, everybody tells me that. Everybody.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
a voice for radio for sure.
Absolutely.
Years ago, I was in the truck and I was calling into, because I used to use satellite
You're like,
radio, because I could listen.
Breaker 19, breaker 19.
I could
Been there,
listen
done
to the
that.
satellite station there across the country and never lose it. I called into this one radio show, this guy and this gal, and as soon as they, said, "Hey, you're on the air," blah, and I said, "Yeah, I got a question about whatever it was," and I asked the question, and the guy started answering. The lady goes, "Shut up." He says, "What do you mean, shut up?" She says, "I want to hear this guy talk some more."
You like that sultry voice. Breaker 19.
Oh, and the other
for
one was
Smokey
Lee
Report.
Merriweather.
Lee Merriweather.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll stop doing
Oh, I
that.
missed the trivia. What was I was looking for my headset.
Okay, we were talking about how many actors from the Batman TV show appeared on Star Trek, the original series.
Oh,
You got to post that comment from Tammy there.
Yeah, we got to show it.
Oh, hello, Tammy.
I did.
Oh, it says another moderator just handled this.
That's because I already clicked it.
It's been handled. Mel, you handled it. I handled it.
Yeah, I had a problem finding my headset this morning. I have, even though we have this pretty big place here that we live in, I only get space, and that's only allocates me a space about this big in the entire house, and I have to cram it's a basket next to the island in the kitchen.
Is that a bee in front of you?
Probably a fly. I don't know. It could be. It could have been a bee. It could have been anything. It could have been anything. But I was talking about. I get this little. It's like a little wicker basket, and that's the only space that I get. And she crams all my crap. So when I'm looking for anything, I got to look in a basket, and it's so full. And unfortunately,
well, a lot of stuff, so that's a good thing.
I got to one of the projects that we're going to be doing here pretty soon is the wardrobe, because when we built the house, for those who followed, the contractor, I paid him to build all built-in wardrobe cabinets and everything like that, but he bailed before we could get to that portion. So
Oh,
I'm I'll be taking that on my own. So we'll do a multi episode segment on building wardrobe cabinets. 'Cause I'm gonna take that challenge on myself. Hopefully it'll come out okay.
Hey, James, your audio is cutting out.
Popping. It's poppy.
It's popping.
Yeah.
Are you using your whoopie-doo microphone, or are you using the microphone
No.
on your headset?
No, if you can stand by, I can go down and using the microphone inside the. Here.
All right, we can hold
It
on.
might be his Wi-Fi. It might be your Wi-Fi's acting
I'm
up.
not sure.
It says
Can't-
it says the bill. Hold on. See if this makes a difference. There was echo cancellation. Is this any better? Can you tell?
You hear that? Now it makes me want to go to the
Yeah.
bathroom.
Now we hear the
Oh.
ocean behind you.
Yeah, now I feel like I gotta
Oh,
pee. I gotta
that's
pee.
that's the
That's the waterfall on the pool.
That's the waterfall.
Yeah, it's the motion of the ocean.
So should I go back? Should I grab the other? Should I grab the other mic? I can do that.
Yeah, go do that.
All right.
Now,
All right.
sound.
Okay.
So you're not like talking.
Take me out. Take me
like
out. Put me back. Take me out. Put me back in.
Okay.
Put me in, coach. Oh, wow.
In a time long, long ago, in a land far, far away.
What was that from, though? Was that the land before time or whatever with the dinosaurs and stuff?
I don't remember.
Land of the Lost?
Was it Land of the Lost? Was it?
Maybe.
That's the dinosaur show, yeah. Used to freak me
How
out.
many of you remember Time Tunnel?
Yeah.
No.
Or the
That
Twilight
was
Zone.
pretty cool.
The Twilight Zone.
Yep.
Rod Sterling in the Twilight Zone.
Just the
Twilight.
reruns of that for
Yeah.
me.
I tried to do a video and well, I did the video and then I tried to narrate it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Nobody commented on it.
Picture of. I always like
Don't
hee-haw
adjust your vertical hold. We are controlling the horizontal.
the vertical and the horizontal
vertical.
hold. Oh yeah, they were always fun to mess with. My parents' TVs get pissed off when I did that because I was like, "What do these do?"
Picture a
Yes,
time when people actually knew their neighbors. Everyone waved hello as you walked down the street. And then, one day, Art Carlson woke up in a brand new place. 2021 was come on. Never mind. Wrong.
No, I used to
joke.
like to watch Hee Haw for the same reason I like Julie Newmar because I was a horned up little kid
You're
about
just a
seven.
horned
Tammy
up,
says
ain't you?
that
Dude, I was
No,
like
it's
7. I
horned
was
up.
flipping through my dad would be at work. He was an engineer. He'd be at work, and I get home from school, and I go up into his closet and find his Playboy magazines and leaf through them. And
Damn Skippy, I remember. Noah, who the hell do you think taught him how to build the ark, for Christ's sakes?
I was ahead of my time.
All right, let's see if James is in sync.
Is he
Okay.
back?
He's in sync. NSYNC. James, you in sync?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, you sound great.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
See, now you
It's-
sound normal. That's all it was. Art just wanted you to sound
Such a
normal.
big microphone. I got the sexy microphone going on.
Such
now,
it's so big. So big.
We're not gonna go there. We're not going
Okay,
there.
guys, I
Hold
gotta
it.
go. I'll see y'all later. Just, you know.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, Mel, you're fine, man.
Yeah, I know what's going on with that. That was the internal microphone that was on. I was again. I was just. I knew you were running late here, so I decided I was just gonna kind of hang back and just watch you guys more. And our breakfast was a little running late, but I did listen to you earlier, and you were talking about a couple topics that I wanted to jump in. I wanted to do with glasses, the eyeglasses and things like that.
Right?
I don't know if you're familiar, but you know, and this is kind of a fun fact kind of a thing, trivia fun fact thing. But all the years previous to these online things that were going on, is all the eyeglass companies all over the United States were kind of run by the mafia. When I say mafia, there was an organization, one company, all these other companies, all these doctors' office, all these ophthalmologists' office, they were all ordering from one place, and they had grasp on the pricing mechanism for this. That's why all the glasses, used to go and cost $300, $400, $500 for a pair of special glasses. Like you had to have trifocals or progressive or anything like that. Then they came to competition with these companies like Zenny. I don't know if you've heard of Zenny. Zenny does online. They do online, and all you have to do now is go to I go to Walmart in the U.S. I get my prescription done at Walmart, and then I take the prescription and I send it to Zenny, and you get glasses for a fraction of the cost. These glasses I'm wearing right now. This is an example. These glasses right here. These are trifocal, progressive. I didn't get any of the special lens coatings and all, the tint and stuff and all that there. When I ordered these at Walmart, it was about $500. I sent the same exact prescription into Zenny, and it was a little over $100 for the same pair of glasses. As a matter of fact,
wow.
I have a feeling you have. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why I kind of jumped in today is one of the subscribers, one of my friends, said, "Are you going on Art's Place today?" I'm like, I just kind of plan on sitting back here and hanging back. He said, "No, you need to go on Art's Place." So I said, "Okay, I'll go on Art's Place." But what I did was, he actually lives in Canada, and Zenny doesn't ship to the Philippines. So I had them shipped to him while they're in the process, because he asked. That's what I was chatting with him earlier. And they're going to be. I ordered three. I ordered 3 sets of glasses. I ordered 3 sets of glasses with this prescription.
It's true. You still have the problem. So it's not the microphone, although it sounds better when it works. But there's something else in play.
I still have a problem. My audio.
It's kind of choppy, James. It's like
I'm gonna try. Yeah. I'm gonna try.
You get that. Like after hang on.
Do this, James.
How about now? Is it any different now?
Well, we'll know in a minute if you keep talking, but just say a big long sentence and then listen to it on the YouTube.
That's no problem for him to do, Mal. He can handle that.
A big long sentence. Okay.
You should do that, James.
And then you'll be able to hear it.
I don't know why I take this abuse.
Because we love you.
From you guys.
It's because we love you.
Well, it's because I love you guys too. And that's the reason I take this abuse. I did the echo to stop the craziness.
No,
still doing it.
I spoke too soon.
Still doing it. I don't.
Well,
I hope it's not a connection on the actual PC.
It could be. It could be. Let's see. What am I connected to right here? I'm actually on my 5G network. Sometimes this is the first time since I started using this new camera.
Is that a USB mic, James? It's in the USB.
Yeah, it's the one. It's the one that it's the new one. This is that new one, the Samsung.
Yeah. But what about the cable? The cable that goes to the mic from the PC to the mic, is that the same cable you're using for the other mic, or trying to troubleshoot?
I didn't have the other mic was the internal mic on the MacBook.
Oh, okay.
I bet if I got out and rebooted everything, I bet everything would be okay and went on different.
You run an X hamster in the background or something.
I run what? Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me close out some stuff. I had a lot of crap. I know.
My wife Lori says your audio's off.
Okay. Now how this thing sounded? Because you know what I had running in the background? I had iMovie running in the background for editing videos, and it is one of the biggest resource hogs that Apple ever made. Is iMovie. Is it now?
Well, turn off some more stuff then.
Yeah, shut down some more resources, brother. You're still doing it.
There you go.
You gotta get a PC. You just gotta get a PC. Come over to the i9 dark side.
Yeah,
Come to the dark side, James.
Better yet, build your own. It's cheaper.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think
or
the
you
only
could
way.
be like Ken Heron and spend $16,000 on a computer where it crashes every week on
Well,
wire crash.
I came in a few minutes late. I came in a few minutes late this morning because I was setting up the waffles in there this morning. But I saw Ken was on this morning. What was that? What was that facility? It looked like it looked like the some.
It's an old roundhouse. It was like it
It's
looked
a
like the staging
roundhouse.
area for outside. There was a roundhouse on the other side of that wall. That's why it was all curved.
Yeah, I only
That's
saw
where they
him
would
inside.
bring the locomotives, and it had a turntable where they would go into the building.
Oh,
The coolest thing ever is a turntable for locomotives. I remember,
Oh,
Disney World
they're
had
amazing.
they have a roundhouse
Yeah.
for the monorails, which is really badass.
Yep.
They like you
Oh,
remember
and Batman
they have
had
the rail
one.
that they bring
Remember
the
in the
monorail
Batcave?
on and rotate it
Yep.
and put it to the spur. It's badass.
I'm gonna quit. I'm keep quitting a bunch of these apps here. Maybe eventually.
It would probably
No,
probably be just easier to reboot because once your system resources are occupied by stuff, they don't free up just by turning that stuff off.
Usually not.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, this
now
is
if it was
a
a Windows
Mac.
machine, I would hit Control
It
Alt
was when-
Delete and end the tasks, and then you're good.
Yeah. Well, I have something.
Right, Mel?
Still even
they have
better
some here,
to
it's like-
do a full reboot. though.
Reboot. Yeah, agreed.
It's like I talk to people that leave their computer on for a week at a time, and it's like, why would you do that?
Well, this
No
is the
wonder
same
you
reason.
can't type anything.
That's the
Well, I
same
do
reason
that.
why.
I could do that, but I could have only got like 15 minutes left before you
Well, I
hit
thought
the
Apple's
2-hour
reboot
mark.
really fast, unlike PCs. What?
Yeah. Okay.
What?
I will be right back.
All right, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Gonna do it. Let's time him. Start the stopwatch.
Okay.
Art, start the
All right,
stopwatch.
let's see. Alrighty.
It's been
Oh,
5
my
seconds
goodness.
already. It's been 5 seconds. We're coming up on 10. Let's see how
And
fast.
it really is amazing. Whether it's a Mac or a PC, it doesn't matter.
It
People
doesn't
don't
matter. I'm just using
understand
them. 15.
once the system resources are occupied, you don't get those back
20.
unless you clean things up.
Right? Mm-hmm.
The best way is
25.
just reboot.
Coming up on 30 seconds. Oh, 30 seconds.
See, at 40 seconds, my machine would be rebooted, and at about 50 seconds, I'd be back in here.
Yeah, we're coming up on 40 now. About 43, 45.
But I really like the machine I'm running. I built it.
Actually, in his defense, my i9 takes about 5 minutes to boot up. I think I've got a problem with one of the hard drives.
Oh,
You know,
Oh.
I have a couple of spinners inside it that I should probably abandon. That's been a minute. So
If you use them for data storage, it's fine.
yeah, well, I have 2 spinners outside. They're 6 terabyte each for like all this video crap that we do.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of spinners inside that are just like have music and stuff on them. But I'm sure they're holding things up. So I got
Doubtful because the system doesn't look at those to load the resources to boot Windows.
I wonder what's slowing it up then, because it is certainly freaking slow.
I don't know. When I first built this thing, it was like 18 seconds from power button to Windows open.
Yeah.
Now it's about 50 seconds.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
But I added some programs to the C drive, and that's where I made my mistake. I should have put them all on secondary drives.
You know what, Mel? I'm going to have to.
The more stuff you put on C drive with your root drive, the more stuff the system has to look through to find what it's looking for.
But I guess I got to do the exercise of going back in and going into configure whatever, and basically don't have all those things start up automatically, not start up till I start them up.
Yeah,
a lot of the programs. It's like the clean
custom
the clean
startup
boot.
or
Yeah,
something?
it's in the startup menu, I think, where you go and you can turn off everything except the Microsoft stuff to start up initially.
Yep.
And then you light them up as you need them.
And be careful
Hello,
that you don't
Birdman.
shut off something that's
All
in
right,
your Win
let's
32 folder
see
that
if-
you need to boot up. Andy's got coffee.
He's got.
He's
look at that.
good.
I always
good.
have coffee.
You know what?
A
That,
minute and a half and coffee too.
Yeah,
If I,
minute and a half. Pretty fast, brother.
Well, no. What took me the longest time, I had to go back and find the link that Art sent. And I caught it. It's one of those kind of things. You know, when you click a button and you're like, after you click it, milliseconds after you click it, you're like, oh man, I should have done something else. Well, it asks you, do you want to reopen up all the windows that you had open?
No.
And I clicked
No.
it. I just wanted
No.
I just wanted to get out and get back in as quick as possible. And then I did that. So I had to wait for all the windows I had all these windows open. Anyway, is the audio any?
I'm knocking on wood. It's better.
Oh, you sound much better.
at
Audio's
this moment,
better?
it's fantastic.
Yeah, at this
Okay.
moment, good call, Mel.
Yeah.
Okay, and now Art's gonna say, and that's it for today's episode. We'll see you all later.
No, now it's back to like normal, James. How you normally
Okay,
are.
yeah. Well, I had, normally I don't. My computer, and it's usually not a problem. Normally on a Mac, and this, again, this is me and Chuck. We're 180. We're usually right on with everything, but Chuck and I are 180 degrees
With the
when it
Mac
comes
thing?
to
Don't-
Mac versus Windows.
Don't
the Mac
feel
versus-
bad. One of my best buds who lives not far from you in Thailand, Keith, he's a hardcore Mac guy too. And I
But-
still love him. So don't,
You know,
and
you
I think he
guys,
still loves me. I
you
think.
guys need to learn. Sooner or later, you will understand. Eve gave Adam the apple, and Adam's life went to shit after that, right?
I
Don't get the apple. No.
the Apple tax is just because Bill Gates didn't care. But I mean, not Bill Gates. Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He designed technology that anybody could use, not just like nerdy people like engineers and stuff. And
Well,
that's the larger percentage of the population.
Steve Jobs didn't design anything.
Well, I mean,
what
it was
Steve
in his-
Steve does, he hired the people that could move his vision.
Okay. True.
And he was a businessman. He was not technology, but he had visions, and he hired the
Vision
right
was
people.
genius.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to get detailed about, but
You're right. You're right.
I still love Apple. What I was getting at before you pushed me off in this other tangent, Chuck.
I like to do that, don't I?
You do. You do this all the time. But what I was getting at is normally I don't know how often you restart your Windows machines. I can run for months and never turn off, never do anything, never reboot my Apple. Just close out the application, because remember we talked about this in a previous episode here on Art show. When you open or close out an application on Apple machine, it's not there anymore. It doesn't sit in a registry. Nothing hangs around.
We did talk about this, and you're right. Yes.
Yeah, it's very clean. It usually doesn't leave anything behind.
Oh, she did. I did forget. My wife's poking me. See, James.
Oh.
There's a Magnolia Bakery in the Philippines, and my wife thinks you have to go there.
Magnolia. Oh, what city? What city is that in?
What city?
Lori, what city is it in? Where it comes from, though, is, do you remember that series Sex and the City with
Jessica?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, they used to go to Magnolia's all the time, and then my wife and I went down to New York, and we had to go on the bus tour that took all this stuff, and they stopped at Magnolia's, and she's been a Magnolia's addict ever since.
Well, Chuck, I got an open invitation for you and Lori to come here and spend some time at the Villa Feliz Resort here when all this pandemic stuff is all over with, because Ness is always talking about you too. So you guys, and we'll set you up in the VIP room. The VIP room is the one that has its own private lanai. It's got the cathedral ceilings inside it. Overlooks the swimming pool. You guys we'll treat you guys special when you come. That'll be great.
Lori gave you the address. She gave you the whole address. Not just...
yeah. That's that area right now. There's no way I'm going in that area right now, because that area right now is that they're all under. As of tomorrow, almost all those cities in Metro Manila, almost all the cities in the barangays, they're going into these special lockdowns. They've started it already, and what they've been doing. Each one of the barangays, they're locking one down and not the next one. It depends on the infection rate, because the infection rate for COVID over here now has skyrocketed.
Do you guys have a vaccine?
They have the Chinese vaccine.
Oh,
I'm not getting that one. What I've been doing is I communicate. Well, no, therein lies another problem. I communicated with the VA back in the U.S. because that's where I get all of my annual checkups, and everything is done at the VA there in South
They
Carolina.
usually juice you right up at the VA.
And so I asked them, I said, are they sending vaccines over here to the VA? Because there's 2 VA facilities in the Manila area. One's a clinic and one is a regional hospital. But they don't normally see veterans who don't have pre-existing military-related conditions. But I checked with the embassy and the VA, and there's going to be some stuff afforded. They're supposed to be setting some stuff up. So I'm hoping that we can get one of either, the same vaccines that everybody's getting inside the U.S. right now.
Yeah,
So
they're pushing.
But what I was getting at when you were talking about coming back, we were supposed to go back. Oh, in like, what is today? Today's the 4th. We were supposed to fly out on the 10th. We were supposed to fly out on the 10th in 6 days from now. And we had to cancel that. Again, this is our 3rd time canceling because there's no return. It's a one-way out right now. If we flew to the U.S. just to go visit our family, we couldn't come back to the Philippines. Not under. So you have to be under certain special type of situations. If your wife is a Filipina, and they have dual citizenship or only citizenship in the Philippines, you can come back as the spouse of a Philippine citizen. But my wife is balikbayan; she's a U.S. citizen. Under our visa status right now, there's only an exit. You cannot come in unless you have Philippines citizenship. So she doesn't have it. So we couldn't come back. I received a message from our Philippine Retirement Authority manager up in, because she was facilitating us with some of the paperwork for getting out of the country to go back for a visit. And she said, I highly recommend that you reconsider changing and we'd already done it. We'd already changed it and our flight schedules. And I let her know that. She said, because they are the Philippine Retirement Authority, the PRA, that provides the SRRV, the Special Retirement Resident Visa here. And it's a great visa, except for this in pandemics. She said, because what they do is most everybody that has the 13A, the 13G, the 9, whatever, most of these people that have the other visas in this country, they go directly to the Bureau of Immigration. Everybody deals with the BI. They go there, they get their interviews there. They annually have to go and get renewals. They have to do and the payments are higher than what we pay. I only pay it only costs me $10 a year under the SRRV to live here. That's all it costs me.
Good deal.
So and I get to do 3 years all in one shot each time. This is our 2nd time. 6 years worth of visas we have, only having to go pay twice. Well, anyway, but the only downfall right now, and it's a special situation, is the SRRV. The BI doesn't know how to handle it with the Philippine Retirement Authority. And what they're saying is, we don't have a status for you, so we don't know what to do about your return flight because of all the travel bans that are going on right now. So that basically they have so much stuff going on right now because of the pandemic, trying to deal internally with all these problems. And the OFWs coming, trying to get back in, and all these tourists that want to come in that they can't let back inside now. They can't. We're one of the lowest levels that they're dealing with, and they're kind of pushing us aside. So she said, I can't. She told me this: I cannot guarantee you'll be able to come back into the Philippines if you leave right now, according to today's status. So, so we pushed it back. We pushed our flight way down the road. So we'll be doing that.
It doesn't look like I'm going to be going over there this year. Then
I don't think you'll be doing it. Not before, at least before the end of the summer, because right now the numbers are going up exponentially over here. As I'm talking, if you look at the news on Metro Manila, they're locking everything down up in that area right here. There's so much limitations that are going on. And even Lipa, we live here in Lipa, and we have the highest rate. Before we had like nothing, and all of a sudden we have like the highest rate in Batangas. And Batangas is the province, and Batangas is a very big province here in the southern part of Luzon. So we keep expecting lockdowns to be happening here, and everybody's preparing for it. But there's a lot of resistance. You got to realize you got so many people, just like in the U.S., everybody has COVID fatigue. all these rules and things like that. So the government here is kind of afraid to put the full lockdown procedures everywhere like they did at the beginning. So they're doing isolated spot. That's what they're doing right now. But I think what's going to happen, I think it's going to backfire at some point, and those numbers are just going to go up so high. I have a feeling it's going to get worse before it gets better. Because even in the U.S. during like that fourth wave, because they opened everything up. They reduced the face mask restrictions and everything like that.
Well, that's what they want you to believe.
Well, it was plateaued off. Well, it's just from the news, from everything, and from the CDC,
but
World Health Organization.
More testing. There's also more testing.
Yeah.
So when you're testing 10 people a day and making everybody wear masks, you're going to get X number result. When you start testing 500 people a day, you're going to get 500 times X result. I mean, it's math.
Yeah.
So are the cases really going up, or is it just the fact that they're testing more people so it looks like there's more?
Well, all I know for me, Mel, is it's hit home for us, because I have an aunt and uncle that live in Charleston, and I received notification from my cousin, the daughter of my aunt and uncle, last week, and they were both hospitalized in Charleston. Both for COVID, and they were both on oxygen. They're about 20 years older than me, so they're in their 80s, early 80s, and they were both on oxygen, and and they took precautions. They tried to stay
right.
So now
everyone that I know that I've talked to that actually got COVID took every precaution they could possibly take.
Yeah, obviously something slipped through somewhere though, and for us, and I'm an advocate. I know the opinion is on both sides about all the precautions that are being done. I listen to some of the stuff even here on ArtCo here, some of the things, but I got to tell you, for me, I'm convinced, because we're isolated. We're isolated here at our house. Every time anybody comes to the Lazada delivery, a grocery delivery, when I meet the person at the front gate here, I wear a mask. I always have a mask. I generally catch 3 to 4 colds a year, 3 to 4 a year. The cold is nothing but a case of the flu. It's like a mild case. It's a virus, all right?
Right.
Since I started observing social distancing and started wearing the mask and isolating myself, and that's basically your social distancing rule inside here, I've really been really particular. I have not caught one cold since the beginning of this pandemic, not one. And all my life, I will tell you, all my life, every year of my life, I catch 3 to 4 colds a year. I have not caught one since I've been wearing the mask and doing this. Washing my hands.
Well, that
but
part
the big
works.
thing,
It does work. It's just this is so damn catchy. This thing is.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm convinced it's effective,
guys.
Art, do we really need to let you talk?
I gotta get going. I want. Sorry, I've got to cut this short, but I just want to wish everybody a happy Easter. Thanks for coming to the show, and I gotta get going. I got dinner waiting for me at my sister's house.
I got a grill.
And
that's right, Easter Sunday.
James, thanks for coming. Mel, great seeing you, and Chuck, always great having you.
Thanks for
well.
having me, Art. And
thanks,
and
Art.
you guys, Mel and James.
Right.
Good to see you guys. Mel,
and
nice
everybody
to meet
in
you,
the chat, thanks for coming. Have a happy Easter and a great weekend. Weather has been awesome here. So, live long and prosper, Mel. And
all right, guys.
We'll catch next week is the birthday show. ArtCo Drone Solutions turns 3 years old. Special show. So catch you next week. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.